All right, so I bought one of these side marker turn signals for the front of an XJ from Stein, Jager, Jagger, however it's pronounced. If this thing didn't cost like damn near $20 shipped, I wouldn't make this video. But this thing like barely works. It's a piece of junk. Number one, the spring that comes inside of this thing, like if you push out this insert inside of the socket, there's a spring underneath it. This thing like barely has any like force whatsoever. You have to use the old spring that came out of the socket that you're replacing. And then if you look at where this like anti-rotation feature is, when this thing came to me, like these two terminals were in the two holes or the two cavities next to the, in line with the anti-rotation feature. In order for it to work halfway decent, and it still doesn't make contact all the time, you got to move the two contacts, 90 degrees from the anti-rotation feature. And if you look at the one that came out of the Jeep, it's on like a 45, that anti-rotation feature. So I'm gonna put this thing and this thing from my old, rusted, disgusting receptacle inside of this guy in order to make it work properly. Like I said, if it didn't cost darn near $20 to ship, I wouldn't complain so much about it. I don't know. I think you guys can do a little better. I know it's all Chinese garbage nowadays. And then another thing that might help you all is the color wires that are on the terminals. This is a 1996, so it might be different from year to year, but I got a blue wire with a red stripe on one of the terminals, and I got an off-white color going to the other terminal. You're gonna have to play with what position these two wires go inside of the cavities inside this receptacle, because there's like a dim and a bright filament, and I believe the bright filament is for the turn signal, pretty sure about that, and the dim filament is for like the side marker. All right, I'm showing you guys some pictures now of the internals of the bulb socket. And then I want to show you one other thing too. The factory insert, the insulator, or whatever you want to call it, it does a really good job keeping the contacts that touch the bulb from actually like making contact with the spring. So that's how Chrysler did it, right? And then the one that you get is just like some piece of junk. And then here are the contacts that come with it. And again, like there's kind of, I'm trying to do this one-handed, bear with me. Here, so you got that going on here, where if you're unlucky, maybe this doesn't happen, but maybe it does. But if you're unlucky and you got things like just right, I don't see why that brass contact couldn't touch that spring. So whatever. And then here's a picture of the bulb socket itself. Both stampings appear to be pretty close to one another, so I have no doubt in my mind that blue insulator we took out of the OEM receptacle or socket, whatever you want to call it, is going to work fine.